Today's video, we're going to do a little bit of an injury update. I don't want to go too much into it because I'm sure you've already heard it. NFL power rankings, the Lions have risen even on a bye week. We're going to get into the NFL draft order for our beloved Detroit Lions, where we sit right now at draft picks, and the Lions schedule and Lions depth heading into the Chargers game. Let's get this thing started. Folks, we are 5 subscribers away from reaching 46,500. If you're one of those 5 watching the video, go ahead and subscribe right now. Let's continue to grow this channel rapidly, trying to get to 50,000 by the end of the year. Let's get into some little bit of NFC North news here. Khalil Herbert and Equanimeous St. Brown will be returning from IR from the Chicago Bears. Maybe we got to face those guys in a couple weeks. Packers, rumors saying they could release Aaron Jones and Bakhtiari after this year. That would be very interesting. Joshua Dobbs to start for Week 10 for the Minnesota Vikings. I think we all figured that because he won the game right there for that football team this past week against the lowly Atlanta Falcons, who just seems to just give it up every single chance. I mean, they're Arthur Smith. He should be on the fire block right there. His heat should be hot, giving that game away. I was watching that game, and it was just ridiculous of how they just kind of fumbled the ball on that one. But it's a good story for the Vikings. They lose Kirk Cousins. Joshua Dobbs comes in there and handles his business. But I got a question for you. Where do you rank the Detroit Lions in the power rankings? Do you have them the best team in the NFL or the worst team, or in between? Put the number in the comments below. Let's get into those power rankings right now. And weekly power rankings, folks. Sports Illustrated moved the Detroit Lions up after the bye week from 8th to 6th. A lot of them moved them up. And so it's nice to see the Lions are moving up on a bye week. That's called a win at a bye week. Sporting News, 6th to a top 5 football team. Love seeing it. Pro Football Network, 7 to a top 5 football team. ESPN, 8th to a top 5 football team. CBS Sports, 9th to 6th. CBS is interesting because they're all over the place. They've been like this all year. Just quirky to see how they do their rankings. Yahoo, 5th to 4th, moving up. USA Today, no change there, and I actually respect the USA Today not doing a no change because there's just bye week, right? It's like nothing happened. The Athletic, 5th to 4th. So the media believes that the Detroit Lions are a top 5 football team, generally speaking. They believe that the Lions are one of the best football teams in the NFL. Now, if they want to continue to move up or sustain a top 5 status, they got to win on Sunday. And it's a huge game going over to LA and facing the Chargers and Justin Herbert's potent offense that they got going on over there, folks. It is a potent offense when they want to be. They're a Jekyll and Hyde team. Today's show is sponsored by Prize Picks, the newest sponsor here at Chat Sports. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. They'll match your deposit match up to $100. And if you want to spice up your NFL Sunday, get started with Prize Picks right now. Prize Picks is a skill-based, real money daily fantasy sports game. And if you're looking to have more fun on game day, look no further than Prize Picks. Want to play alongside Prize Picks' favorite players like rapper Meek Mill and comedian Andrew Schultz? You can now find community plays in the promos tab of the app to view entries from some of the biggest names in the Prize Picks community each week. Prize Picks even offers a reboot policy so that your entries stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. For football and basketball games, if you have a player who exits the game in the first half and does not return in the second half, that player is rebooted. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. The 3 players that I have for Sunday's games here is Jared Goff, have him getting more than 265.5. Josh Allen getting more than 265.5. And Aiden O'Connell, leader Akola Farva, getting less than 209.5. So get started with Prize Picks right now. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS for a deposit match up to $100. Why is it code CLNS? Because that's our ad agency partner. Use code CLNS. It's real easy. 4 letters get $100 match when you sign up. So download the app today. The link will be in the description and comment section of this video. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. So I want to just go over the injuries update really quick. If you have missed it, if you're one of the individuals that has missed it yet, this is for you. It's only going to be really quick because I'm sure a lot of you guys already know this. But Jonah Jackson, David Montgomery, Frank Ragnow, they're all were practicing yesterday, and that's really good, even though it was just a walkthrough. But Dan Campbell feels like they're definitely getting close, and we really need these guys to be out there on Sunday at the Chargers. And this is what Dan Campbell said. He says, "Yeah, I think so. We'll see tomorrow when we put the pads on, but they've been trending the right way for a while. Certainly hopeful to get them." Campbell said, "Certainly we know David can, but we know that Gibbs has gotten better each week," Campbell said. "We're going to ask those guys to do things they do well, and that helps our offense move in football. I don't think necessarily sitting here talking to you right now that I see Gibbs getting 65 plays. I don't see that. But he's going to get his fair share now. We know what he can be more growing. So I think it'll be a little bit of by committee and make sure that we get those touches. Gibbs will definitely get his touches." And it's really good to see the injuries getting better for the Lions, and we're going to need it because the Chargers have a really good pass rush, and our offensive line is going to have a handful on their hand. You look at this team. Khalil Mack's got 9 sacks. Joey Bosa, I think it's 6.5 sacks. It's just across the board, so the offensive line needs to be good there, and they're a good run defense. And so to have players like David Montgomery to get those crucial yards is going to be really important in this game. And like he said, Jahmyr Gibbs is definitely going to get his, but David Montgomery is as well. Folks, where do you have the Lions ranking in the power rankings? 1, if you have them 132, if you have them the worst team in the NFL. Go ahead and put it in the comments below. David Montgomery is no slouch, like we're saying. He's already had 94 rushing for 385, 4.1 average, and 6 touchdowns. And like I just stated, when it comes to the Detroit Lions and the Chargers are a really good run defense. So we're going to have to get those crucial yards, and we're going to have to rely on David Montgomery to get those 3rd and 1s, or the 3rd and 2s, or a 4th and 1. Because that's the way this game potentially could go, is it's going to be difficult to get those yards. But we also have another player that potentially could make his debut, and that's Donovan Peoples-Jones. This is what Dan Campbell said about him playing. "We'll get him up to speed with the playbook here. Just make sure he's good and healthy and just see where he is. Certainly, we acquired him because we think he can help us, but I also want to make sure he's ready mentally and physically. He's 100% ready before we do that." And I can concur with his idea of waiting and making sure that he's good to go. And this is the Lions' philosophy. If you've been watching Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes over the years, they will not play a player until they're 100% ready. They slow them into this game, and I am perfectly fine with that. You want to set your players up for success. And say Donovan Peoples-Jones not ready to go. It's not like the wide receivers that we got is bad. They're not, and you're going against the 32nd ranked pass defense. So if he doesn't get a lot of plays in there and he doesn't understand the playbook just yet, it's not the end of the world because the Lions will be able to pass on this defense. They're going to be able to do that. This is not a good pass defense, and the Lions are a great passing offense. So we will see Donovan Peoples-Jones when he's ready. And to me, I feel like DPJ is here more for the playoffs and in having that extra guy, a physical player, to help us out over the better teams in the NFL. We need to have a full range of offensive weapons for those guys, and that's important. So where are the Detroit Lions at right now for the current NFL draft picks? How about I tell you really quick, halfway through the season, why not? So right now, the Detroit Lions got the 29th pick in the first round if it was to end today, the 61st pick in the second round, 81st pick in the third round, 92nd pick in the third round. We don't have a fourth round pick. 165th in the fifth round, pick 6, 206, and 248 in round 7. Look, this stuff's going to change, obviously, as the records changes, and, of course, the playoffs and where the Lions land. But that's what we got for our draft picks as of right now. Let's look at the Lions schedule here, and we're going to L.A. This is going to be a difficult game for the Detroit Lions. Folks, I know they're 4-4, and right now we're favored to win that game, but make no mistake about it, it's going to be a difficult game. They're really good at pass rush. They're really good at run defense, and their offense can put up points. Now, they are a Jekyll and Hyde team, but it's going to be difficult. Then we're home against the Chicago Bears. That should be a win. Then we're home against the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving. That should be a win. Then we're at the New Orleans Saints, who are 5-4. They're a decent team right now, but I think the Lions should be favored in that game. Derek Carr has had struggles, but we got to root for them this weekend because they face the Minnesota Vikings. We need the Vikings to lose. The Bears then right after that at Chicago. It's going to be cold there. The Lions should be favored. Broncos are playing a little bit better now. Let's watch this team because they're starting to play better. So maybe the record is a little bit off. Still, Lions should be favored to win that game. Vikings, Joshua Dobbs, mobile, dual-threat quarterback. That could be an issue for the Lions. We've been having issues all year. It's at Minnesota. Dallas Cowboys, could be a tough game, 5-3, even though they just lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. They're really good at home. Really good at home. It's going to be hard. Then we're home against the Minnesota Vikings to close out the regular season. We should be able to win that game. And we'll see. It's interesting because you got at Vikings, then home at the Vikings 2 weeks later. Folks, right now the Vikings are sitting at the 7th seed. So that means we would have to play the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs if everything stayed pat. So you would have to face the Vikings 3 out of 4 weeks. I really don't want to do that. I think the Lions could beat them. Well, the reason I don't want to do that is, man, I'd rather face just another team, in all honesty. But if you're going to tell me it's the 49ers or Cowboys, I'll take the Vikings for sure. Definitely will. Make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. 5 subscribers away from a number change. You subscribe to the channel, you won't miss out. One Pride Podcast on Thursday, 1 p.m., Lions versus Chargers. Sunday at 3 o'clock, we're going to be live for the Lions versus Chargers play-by-play. It's going to be a great game, huge game for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you show up. With that said, folks, adios.